We are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft podcast. This is episode number 62, and I'm joined by a very special guest here. He is Colossal Mike Law. And just like we were talking about before we even got onto the podcast, I was trying to realize now Mike is also now the third that's finally been on the podcast, been on both actually, because he was on my original podcast, The Laws Roundtable, and now I finally had him on here on Respect the Craft. So how's it going, brother?
It's going good, man. It's been it's been hectic
Yeah.
in a good way. I find that I'm at my happiest. I'm at my most tired, but I'm at my happiest when I'm just being productive and being busy. It's a cool thing. It's a great thing. It's a great place to be in.
No, definitely. And again, that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on this week, because I just saw, especially a tweet you put out, like you have a busy next 2 months. And we're gonna be talking about all this in a little bit. Like all the
Wow.
dates you have, like you have a lot coming up.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's crazy because everything between that and like people don't. I mean, people who are tuning in now will know that I also am one of the coaches along with Masha Slamovich, Jorge Santi, and Steve Pena for the fall shelter. So that's a big part of my week. Is
mhm.
training there twice a week and putting everyone through the rigors. So yeah, and like between that and just keeping constantly busy, with these events. This weekend will be Connecticut, and on Sunday for Battle Club, I'll be doing commentary. It's gonna be fantastic. Then off to Super Kick in Canada on Friday, the 24th, 25th. I'll be back in the States to face Sam Shields for the ECWA heavyweight title. So I don't know, man. I'm a hustler. Like I can think of all the errors and mistakes I've made along the way.
Yeah.
There were plenty, but I'm so grateful that I'm still able to not only wrestle and perform at a high level, but also be able to be busy, and be feel like I'm in demand, and that's a great place to be, man. I think, yeah, it was a long, arduous road, but I'm grateful for the journey. You know what I mean? I'm just grateful, and people how can one be so positive? Hey, listen, when I get down too. I think everyone does, but I just try to keep a mental, a positive mental state, kind of block out the negative stuff, and it just, I think people see that.
No, definitely so. Definitely so. And here we go. We got Money Morales in the chat there, the boss man himself saying coach.
Oh,
We're definitely gonna be talking about Fallout in a little bit as well, and especially again all the dates you were mentioning there. But before we get
right,
into all that, we get into all the questions I have for you. I gotta ask you the question I ask everyone that comes on, and it's you heard the name of the podcast. It's called Respect the Craft. So for
right.
you, Mike, when you hear that term, the craft, what does that mean
Mhm.
for you?
I think that's a good question. I think, and you start off with the hardball ones. And first and foremost, I had Coach Joe Kim Morales. He's a man, one of the best, most stand-up guys I've ever worked for. But as far as respecting craft, I think there's a lot of it. It's a blend of respecting yourself. You know what I mean? You know, I'm a big advocate. Of just being a professional. You know what I mean? I say the two things to me. It's like if you're professional and respectful to people, they might not like you. They might not like the way you look. They might not like the way you wrestle. They might not like the way you dress, whatever. But they can never really take away anything other than that. You know what I mean? Like if you're a respectful professional, they have to acknowledge that. And I just think just when it comes to that, it's like respecting other fellow pro wrestlers. You know what I mean? Respecting the business. You know, I think it's a very robust thing. I don't think you just limit it to one or two things. I think respecting the craft is respect for yourself enough to go into the gym. Eat correctly, do your cardio, go to train every week. You should be out there training. There's plenty of. I mean, it's not just the fall shelter. There's plenty of places you can go to. Creator Pro, in Long Island, NYWC. You have Monster Factory in New Jersey. I'm sure I'm leaving a bunch of, but the point is, there's plenty of places that you can go ahead and train if you want to do this.
No, definitely so. And that was something I was going to bring up, especially about the Fallout shelters. Again, how has that been for you now getting to be a coach there and help the next crop of great talent?
To me, it's actually been very cathartic. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's like it reinforces a lot of things. You know what I mean? And I feel that a lot of times, um, even when I'm having a day, I'm like, it sucks. I'm like, it's just like, listen, we all have our downtimes, myself included. But I get there and I get the energy up, and the energy that they give back to me. It's just an awesome atmosphere. I love it. You know what I mean? We can all have our disagreements. We can all have our likes, our dislikes. But when we're going in there, our common goal is to train to be better than we were the last time we went to train. So that to me is a big deal. And I just love the positivity. I love the work ethic of a lot of the people there. For me, again, it just kind of reinforces a lot of things as far as being able to train it, teach it, and then apply it, and then seeing them do it. It's like so much of a relief for me, and I thank Joe Kim, and Elliot Martinez and okay, because those guys really confided enough in me to be like, hey, this guy can bring something to us that that he has the experience, he's been up and down these roads, and I feel like I get better because I train there myself. I tell people I'm there doing the drills. I'm there, like I'm not just coaching, and like everyone has a different method. I respect it all. If you've done stuff here in this industry, you contributed in a positive way, then I'm all about that. But for me personally, like I got to get in there and do it. As far as I can, as long as I can physically do it, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to be in the trenches. I'm going to be doing the burpees. I'm going to be doing the squats. I'm going to be doing the rolls. I'm going to be doing all the different, drills that we do along with the techniques, because I want to continue to get better too.
No, definitely. And again, I'm not only saying this just as a friend, but I can definitely recommend for anyone listening, definitely go to this school and definitely go learn under this man. Because again, even the session I got to do there, again, he's not lying. He's done it with me. Like even when I went and the workout we did, again, by the end of it, we're both blown up and just out of it. But it was like he's in there doing it with you guys. So definitely go check out Fall. Again, it's a great school with a lot of great trainers. Again, you have this man right here, Michael Law. You have Masha Slamovich. You have Jorge Santi. You have Steve Pena. You have Money Morales in there as well, and Hoke. Who are, again, you guys are also teaching so many aspects that normally, again, it should be taught, but you're not always getting from a school. Again, not just putting it over just because we're here, but just talking about how it definitely gives something I feel like that people that want to be in the business should be learning as well.
Right. We wanted to give it like a lot of versatility, because there's so many aspects of the pro wrestling business that had changed since the time I started in 1998. It's changed. You know what I mean? And we try to give them a little bit of everything. And a lot of times, listen, I'll be the first one to say, I'll tell them, I go, it's overwhelming. There's a lot of information. You know what I mean? While we're doing drills, even before then, I'll have a few pro tips that I like to give, whether it's your gear, whether it's the merch that you decide to put on later on when you're doing this on a steady basis. There's just so much to this that wasn't there in 1998 when I started training. Back then you just wrestled. Like you got on a show and you contacted promoters by the phone, or you sent out your VHS tape. But now it's like it's a whole thing. It's social media, integrity, and all that. Just so much stuff that we have to put into this. And so you have all these different coaches that know they have the specialties. You know what I mean? And that's why I think it's a great school. You know what I mean? And we've been around a year now, so I'm starting to see the progress of a few people that I think have a lot of potential to really make an impact in the pro wrestling industry.
No, definitely so. And again, it's only going to get better and better as the years go on. And here we go. We have a comment here. I don't know if this is, again, when we had Mr. Martinez on, he talked about, again, everything's best for both parties, but he puts the absolute best coach at the Fallout shelter, Colossal Mike Law, but then with a winky face. So I don't know if that's supposed to be, again, if they're joking around there, I don't know. You and Federated have had some things. I don't know if where's that going.
Yeah, I mean, it's sarcasm, obviously. I don't. You don't have to like. I'm intelligent enough to realize when someone's being sarcastic. Um, but I don't. I do believe I'm one of. I'm not. See, because then it's a whole thing like of who's better than who. I don't necessarily. I think we all have our strengths. You know what I mean? Like we all have our aspects of what we do best, better than the others. Like somebody was asking me the other day about bridging, and I could do a bridge. My bridges are pretty good. I said, but in all honesty, Masha Slamovich has the best bridging. Like her bridges are amazing. For me, if I were to look at all four of us and every one of us can do a bridge, but I would say I would ask her to train me for that. You know what I mean? Because she has the best ones. There's just different aspects of what we do, like ring positioning. Santi's very good with that. Like just very like the fundamentals. I'll give him credit. I know I don't give him too much credit, but he's probably listening to this and enjoying it. But I think everyone has their strengths. I'm not here sitting around saying like I'm better than anybody, but
no. It's definitely getting into you. Again, it's Federated doing it just to get into you a little bit, because I know that was something they tweeted out. I guess we'll get to it now as we're getting closer to this Sunday. They brought up again you taking up Mick Drake's challenge, and Federated feeling like you took an opportunity away from one of the Fallout students. So
I mean, but listen, it goes back to what I had a meeting on Tuesday or Wednesday about this. There are going to be students that are going to be approached. It's like anything else. You see someone and you see clips like, okay, well, maybe they'll work for, maybe it's an opportunity. And like, it's not me trying to stop anybody. To me, I know what people's levels are. Like, there's levels to all this shit. And to me, it's kind of like a little aggravating when people are like, well, how do I get scheduled like you and Masha? Yeah, you fucking work hard and you build a brand and you build a good reputation that you know what you're doing, you're safe, and that you work hard, and it's the overall, again, it's a package. It's not I'm a good wrestler. You have to be able to do a little bit of everything. And while I don't mind people inquiring, that students of ours inquired about that, like Abe Khan wasn't ready. You know what I mean? Like I don't, some people, and I don't even want to mention his name because I don't want to bury anybody. But the point being is like, I don't want to put anybody out there in a situation that they can't handle, and that's what I truly felt, and he might think I'm wrong and Federated might think I'm wrong for that, but I truly in my heart feel that he wasn't ready. And why set somebody up like that? That to me would be irresponsible for me as a trainer to put someone in there and just feed them to the lions saying, hey, here you go, because that was like old school bullshit. That was like the thing what they would do, like if they wanted to get rid of you or they wanted to rough you up, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, they'd put you in there with someone who's going to kill you. And, you either took a beating, fought back and took a bigger beating, or never came back. It happened tons of times. So I was trying to me, he could take it any way he wants. Apparently took it the wrong way. But I see it as like, hey, this dude wasn't ready. I took his spot because I've been doing this. I'm not just saying it but it's the years of experience that I think would have made more sense against a guy like Mick Drake and his caliber.
No, definitely. And again, I can understand, and it's one of those. I'm going to make a few people feel old now. You've legit been doing this for as long as I've been alive, because we were talking about earlier. From '98, that legit was the year I was born. So Again, it's been a minute that you've learned your craft and you've perfected your craft. And again, you're still learning. That's a thing too. But
yeah, you're always learning. You're always learning, man. And I got to say that because there's so many people that I notice in the independents. And I don't know. I think to me, I look at it as a lack of confidence and a lack of of themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if you've been around this industry long enough or you've been around this life long enough, you can tell who's insecure about themselves and who's not. Like, I see it all the time, and it's like, you never stop learning. I learn shit all the time. I learn new stuff all the time. Like, there's always stuff that I can learn or relearn or modify. And I just never get out of that phase. You know what I mean? I try to keep myself humble and, know that me just working hard and putting in the effort will eventually be, what I leave behind, the legacy I leave behind. But you never stop learning. I always find it odd when it's like people do things differently. Like if I go to another training center to train, like off just a day off, just go and I'm gonna listen to what they do and I'm gonna do what they're gonna do. Like that's the way they train over there. You know what I mean? So I just feel like I see people come to different places, and then some people have stopped by a fallout shelter. It's like they're so fucking obvious. They're so opinionated about so many. And I go, dude, guy, girl, whatever. I've never even heard of you. You know what I mean? Like the only reason I heard it is because you stopped by here, and it's just I don't get that. I don't get that mentality. Just going into someone's house and be like, oh, well, why do we do this? No, dude. Like we're doing this for a reason, and this is why we're doing it. You got to realize these are levels. These guys are still girls and guys are still very new, and we'll get there. But you got to be a little patient. And this is not your training facility. This is the Fallout's training facility. And that's part of the thing that I just don't understand when people do that shit. It bugs me out because I go with the utmost respect when I show up anywhere.
Definitely. And again, it's one of those things I feel like that comes with, again, the territory of, again, you being in this business for so long that, again, from back in the day, especially when I've heard stories like from Glory Days with Mack and hearing how that kind of stuff wouldn't have fly back in the day. That would have been an instant like, okay, you think you know better than just get out.
Oh, no. You didn't get out. You got in the ring, and then he fucking pummeled you, and then you left. You know what I mean? With your pride broken. Because I'm not saying that was the right. Listen, I don't know. I think sometimes there is room for tough love in this industry because it is a physically demanding business, and I think there are times that we kind of gone a little bit away from that. But at the same time, like, back in the day, you wouldn't go to the doghouse and act like you knew more than Homicide or Lathan or whoever or Lil Key. Boy, because you would find out really quick that wasn't like a very popular decision, and they had to protect themselves. Like, again, it was just a respect thing. And it goes back to, we talk about respecting the craft. You go to a training.
We lost Mike Law. Let's give us a sec, guys. Sorry, a little bit of technical difficulties here. Hold on. Let's see if we can get him back on. And we have no visual. Let's give us a sec, guys. So sorry. We'll be right back. But till we do that, once again, go check out the Fallout Shelter. Make sure you guys are getting the best training possible. Again, great facility, great trainers, and you're learning from some of the best. And still no visual. Oh, there we go. Are you there,
Sorry
Mike?
about that. Yep.
No
Sorry
problem,
about that. Yeah, so it just goes back to that. Like you have to represent yourself with some sort of respect. You gotta I just don't understand it. And again, that was something back then. If you went any place and you disrespected the trainer or the coach, man, they weren't gonna just tweet about it. They were gonna fucking light you up. And again, some people are like, oh, well, it's brutal. No, it's like you go anywhere else. You go to a boxing gym or an MMA gym or any other facility like that and disrespect the coaches or the owners or whatever, you get your ass handed to you. Mm-hmm. It's a different situation, and it shouldn't really be that way in wrestling because, again, yes, there's an art to what we do, and that's what we try to teach is the art of being able to do this on a regular basis without killing yourself. But the idea is you still have to know that there's a physicality to what we do. It's not just it's not you're not picking up pillows and having a pillow fight here.
Definitely. Again, there's a reason they say this isn't ballet, but here we go. Oh, we got Rembrandt in the chat saying you got scared of him. That's why the signal started to.
I got scared. No, man. Listen, and I'm gonna say this real quick about Rembrandt. That dude had a career-defining match against Steve Pena a few months ago. And dude, I'm telling you, if you haven't checked that match out with him and Steve Pena from on TitleMatchNetwork.com, subscribe. I mean, that match alone was just fucking brilliant, man. They brutal. If you like that hard hitting, innovate. I mean, there was some innovative offense from Rembrandt that I have never seen. And dude, I just that guy. he's onto something, but he needs to come into his own and just take off. You know what I mean? Because the potential's there. It is. I've seen him cut pro. Like, he just needs to just find himself and just I mean, because they're gonna, you strap a rocket on that guy's back, he's gonna fucking fly. I mean, he's really that good and just so underrated. You know what I mean? And I hope he realizes how good he is, that he can, go with it.
Definitely so. And again, we'll be seeing him this Sunday, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit. But here we go. We got more. Here we go. Now, Abraham Khan telling his side of the story, I guess. He says, Mr. Martinez said he would try to diminish my opportunity. We'll never know what would have happened, but at least I know who the real ones are. So, again, it's Federated side of the story. Again, they might be just a little misunderstood, but we're going to keep going here. We got
okay, but real quick, that's an example of what it's nobody wants to work for it, man. It's just an example of like modern mentality, like instant gratification. Like, dude, wrestling will always be here. That's the one thing I've learned. Pro wrestling will always be here. You have to apply yourself and show that you are I know it sounds cliche because The Rock says it, but you have to show to everyone that you're the hardest worker in the room. And to me, I'm not saying that Abe isn't a hard worker, that he doesn't put the effort in. I'm sure he does, and he has a lot of upside to him. But, like, it's, again, instant gratification. Like, you work for that opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how a guy like that who is on the come-up all of a sudden decide that, okay, I'm going to be able to take on a guy like Mick Drake. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, he should really be thanking me, but whatever, man.
I don't know, but again, here we go. Now I guess they're making fun of sadly, the technical difficulties. But here we go. We got one of the loyal members of the Fallout Shelter, Bam Collins, saying, "Where's the loyalty there?" And that's it. Again, show respect to your coach here. Show respect to those that are giving you guys the dues. And here we go. Joe Keem saying, "If Federated pay for the signal jammers, possibly. They do have a lot of money." So,
I wouldn't be surprised.
But there you go. And here we go. We got Hermano Hoke in the chat saying they got a pow. They definitely deserve one. But again, they'll have their matches this Sunday, so possibly getting some.
Right.
And here we go. We got more loyal members of the Fallout here. David Rivera with the eyes. Here we go. And here we go. We got KJ Mack in the chat saying, "Miss you, Coach Colossal." There we go. All the way in Scotland right now. He's going all the way international.
Let me tell you, I'll tell you something about KJ Mack, man. Like, all things aside, like, that kid has something to him that is gonna, like, I'm not saying this because, like, anyone who knows me knows, like, hey, there's no reason for me to ever bullshit people. I just never really like to play the game like that. There's so much potential at the Fallout Shelter, but what he shows me, and a few other people, like, there's a few people, aside from just because he commented, like, when I do assign homework assignments, I'm a big believer in being able to take this stuff outside of the just training and incorporate it and just, like you would at any school, it's homework. It's nothing crazy, but he listed 3 short-term goals, 3 long-term goals. Now that he's in Scotland, takes a video and then sends it to me. Like, I have so much admiration for that because it's just, again, it's the things that make you say, oh, this guy really wants it. You know what I mean? And I'll be quite honest, I had like that mentality of 1 foot in, 1 foot out for so long in my life because of other outside things. But a guy like him, I'm like, this guy wants it and he has both feet in. And I'm not saying I'm not saying never have a plan B or anything like that. I'm sure, like anything else, like I always tell people, like, always have a plan B, like this wrestling business is very fickle. You know what I mean? Like, the fucking tide changes, guys. But I see stuff like that from guys like him and other people who DM me with questions after school. Like, I tell my students, man, like, our students are that I think it's important to DM your coaches. I'm like DMs open for the students all the time because I feel like if there's a question you need to ask, let me know. And I'll be more than happy to always give advice. As far as I know, and I think it's it's always important to encourage that.
There you go. And here we go. We got Rembrandt, I guess, enjoying the compliments you gave him right there, saying, "Oh, shucks, thank you." There we go. Federated, I guess. You guys agree on something. He says strap a bomb to his back. So there you go. He's trying to to keep it going there with Rem. I don't know if you want to strap a bomb, but there you go. Here we go. We got comments against Federated. There you go. Here we go. More nice comments. And here we go. Joe Keem saying he wore your shirt today, Coach. There you go. Getting the merchandise.
I'm sure you look great.
There you go. And here we go. We got Danny Nemesis in the chat. Coach Law, he's awesome. There you go.
Thank you.
Much love there.
Yeah.
Much love.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. Let's keep it going here. Let's start talking about these shows you have coming up as well. Before we keep going with the comments here, let's go to the first one that will be coming up tomorrow, as you're going to be in Empire Pro Wrestling Presents Rise of the Empire, as you're going to be taking on the Cure Lucas Chase. The Cure had some things to say about you. You were able to respond, but tell us your thoughts going into this matchup tomorrow night.
He was very opinionated, and for a guy who, I guess, claim that, I'm a cosplayer or whatever bullshit he wanted to spew about me. I think it's like very telling just looking at the schedule alone. I think he mistook like the match I had with Mick where I painted half the face like silver and had the Colossus gear.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just like, again, you have to be an experience. You can't just, hey man, if you want to be a pro wrestler, straight up pro wrestler, that's cool. I have no problem with it. I love pro wrestling, all different styles. But I like to throw a little sizzle in that. And to me, I think for someone to take that and as an example and be like, oh, this guy's like, no, dude, like I'm gonna wrestle circles around him tomorrow night. He'll find out, soon enough, in less than 24 hours.
Well, then there you go. And again, I like how he talks about that and he makes jokes at what you were doing, but all I can really see is someone trying to dress up as a cowboy, but that's just me. Again, I don't know.
Well, there you go. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, I didn't go after that, but that really did piss me off when he mentioned that, because I go, dude, you obviously don't know anything. You don't know enough about me. I mean, because it's not out there, but right? Like, it's not like I'm not like known at least in the Northeast and other parts of the United States. But like, it's like, yeah, he took that one thing and it definitely like rubbed me the wrong way, And we'll see what happens, man. Tomorrow night in Connecticut for the my debut for that company. This is their first show in like 12 years.
There you go. And here we go. Federated going after that, saying, is that the Latino Undertaker? that could have been something too. Again, everyone taking jabs, because again, that's just disrespectful to come after. Again, a true, seasoned talent of your stature. Again, the opportunities you've gotten, again, everything you've done. But hey, I guess everyone's going to be there. Everyone's going to be a critic, I guess. But then
that's fine. Off my shoulders.
Hey, from that Saturday, you're coming back to the home area here, as you're going to be in Brooklyn, as you'll be a part of Battle Club Presents Welcome to War. As you mentioned earlier, you're going to be on the call for the great action. Again, we've talked about this card throughout the week. We've had multiple guests on breaking down this card. It is a stacked show, which again, guys, if you haven't already, get your tickets, link in the description down below. I got a show again, which just a little favoritism. I definitely love this poster, just a little too much. Great looking poster, especially that comic expired. Like, it had inspiration there with the comic wise. Sorry, but
funny how they did that. Funny how they did that after I did the whole Colossus thing.
Take that as a compliment. Again, you're having that inspiration there, even on Federated. So
there you go. I'll get my check in the mail there, pal. So no, it's gonna be commentary duties, which I love doing. It's another aspect of what I've grown to start doing amongst just being a coach in wrestling. I love doing commentary along with Joe Kim and Gino. I don't know, is Gino gonna be there? I don't even know. I haven't heard from him in a while. But Battle Club always puts on these type of like shows that are just to me they're that version of a company that that puts on these stellar like shows with talent that you don't see anywhere. You know what I mean? And not because they're not good enough. All these people have either been on TV or should be on TV because they're all insanely talented. But it's just one of those things where Joe Kim has had a vision of what he sees as far as what he and I respect that. You know what I mean? Because it's like he's very specific with who he brings in, and I think that's so cool. Like, rather than just always get the flavor of the month with a person who's constantly wrestling, like he changes it up, and I'm very excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it. I mean, not only as a commentator, but also as a fan of professional wrestling.
No, definitely so. And again, that's what I was telling Joakim even when I had him on. Like, I love how, again, it's the best of truly the north, south, east, west. You get a conglomerate of just everywhere. Right. It's not just let's book the same names on the indie scene. It's a little bit of everything, which again, we've all seen those shows, which again, good luck to them and good luck what they're doing. But again, getting to see this and see something a little different presented, especially here. Like I've made it no secret. Again, it's in my area. Crazy enough. Like I love that. It's very local. And getting to see a show like this, especially with the representation on the show. That's always great to see.
Right. That's a huge thing. I mean, and it's just like I continue to still want to see that across the board. And Battle Club to me, I feel like they've cemented themselves as a top level independent. Yeah. I want to see what else is coming in the future, but like just to be able to see it on a higher level constantly, that was like, I think that's, I can't speak on Joe's part, but I would say in my part, like I'd love to see that because I think it's just, I don't know. I just think a lot of times you see the difference. You know what I mean? Like if it's a broad spectrum of talent, and I'm not just saying it's just talent that bring value that people want to see. You know what I mean? It's not like you're not just bringing in Joel. You got guys like O'Shea Edwards, Dan Moss. You got Shane Taylor. A Big Swole. You have so many different people. Rembrandt. Willow Nightingale. So it's just like it runs the gamut of actual talented people that people just want to see because they love their brand. They love they love the wrestler. Whatever the case may be.
And it's the pairings as well. Like it's a great look at the pairings that Joakim and the team at Battle Club have put together. Because again, there's not one match on that card that couldn't just be a main event. I know it's cliche to say that, but it definitely is a great card right there. And here we go, Joakim again reminding Federated where that secondary poster came from, letting them know he's welcome for that poster. But here we go, KJ asking me a question now: is it Colossal? I don't know. Again, it's a cool poster though. I got to give it that. It's a cool poster.
Come on now, Rhett.
I'm
You're
sorry.
Letting me down.
I'm sorry. Hey, again, I don't know if you saw the episode I had Mr. Martinez on, but again, I'm being neutral right now, but I do like a little bit of Federated. I'm sorry. So, again, it's all love. Again, it's all love, all respect. But here we go. I guess the check is not coming in the mail. Sorry, Mike. Federated says the stamp fell off the envelope there. So, damn. Of course.
Venmo. There's Venmo. There's Zelle. PayPal. I mean, we don't even need to do that anymore.
Hey, there you go. And here we go. Hoke saying, is Gino still deported? Whoops. Oh, no. He meant vacation. Sorry about that. So Gino's on an extended vacation. There you go. Sorry about that.
Is he still on vacation?
He's on extended
vacation. I feel I haven't seen that guy forever.
I don't know. Last time I saw him, he was doing some other cryptic things. I don't know. But here we go. We got Joakim saying, appreciate you, coach. There you go. And here, Federated finally sends a nice message for it. Love for Battle Club. There you go. That's what you want to see. And wait, why am I getting called a turncoat in my own chat? Here we go. Now Roman saying raise a turncoat. I didn't do anything. I'm just the podcaster here. That's all I did.
Right.
I don't know what I did. Here we go. We got Kono in the chat saying Mike is the fucking best. There you go.
Oh, thank you, man.
From Mike.
Kono's good too, man. I'm happy that he's doing this thing with his company, man. Like, and he's smart because, like, I was just watching those cards, man, and they're like, it's filled with a lot of young, fresh talent that are hard workers, are humble, man. Like, good stuff, man. Good for you, dude. I'm very, very happy for him, and I just think they're going to continue to kill it.
Definitely shout out to Remarkable Wrestling. But here we go now. Let's keep it going with your, again, crazy schedule as you're going to be returning to ECWA on June 25th as you'll be challenging for the ECWA World Championship. It's going to be you and a man you know very well, Sam Shields. Your thoughts on this, getting to make your return there for ECWA, and your thoughts on possibly walking out as the world champion.
I think ECWA, Sam Shields has always been very good. I'm not going to even take it away from him. I think I've said it plenty of times that when I wrestled him, I got better. You know what I mean? And that's what you always want. You want to get into people who are better than you. So I will always give him partial credit. There's other people that are involved, but he made me better because you just got better just wrestling guys like him. He's very aggressive and stuff like that. But I just don't see it. You know what I mean? I don't see I totally don't see the hunger that he had years ago, which I completely understand because he had done all the tryouts. He's done the Impact, the Ring of Honor stuff. I think even the WWE stuff. And it's like when you don't see that success or what you deem success with those companies, and it's like, what now? Then it kind of just the flame starts to kind of dim a little bit. But like as long as I've been doing this, I love this business, and I don't like say that as a marketing thing. I really truly love professional wrestling. That's all. I don't think about it all the time, but predominantly most of the time. And I've done so many different aspects of it that I feel like, when it comes at the end of the day, like I know that it's switched. I know that I am now a way better wrestler than he probably ever was. I've dedicated myself way more than he has, and I've seen a lot more long-term success than he has. And I think, the AC, if anything, ECW should pray that I win the freaking title, because I will help to elevate that title once again. You know what I mean? And that was bullshit what they did to Joey Ace. I mean, I'm not going to be at liberty to discuss, but they did him dirty. They know what they did with that. And, I'm just here to, I guess right or wrong.
Hey, there you go. All I'm going to say is, again, for those that know, and especially, I feel like everyone's seen the clip by now, just careful with chairs when you make your return for that championship.
Hey, that shirt's so pretty damn good, so I can't, no complaints.
There you go. But definitely good luck on that. But now let's talk about a debut for you, as in July. Again, you're going to have a busy schedule as you're making debut for a new company here, as it's going to be Guts and Glory in their very first show, as it will be July 1st, as you're going to be taking on Sebastian Cage. So your thoughts on this matchup here? And again, Sebastian coming up again, a similar training facility, similar style. So your thoughts on this one?
Going back, I'm sorry, because I have to also let people know that I will be wrestling in Super Kicked the night before ECWA on June 24th. So I'll be in Toronto, Canada. From there, I will make my way down to Jersey. So, I mean, again, it's like that type of travel, when you do this type of thing, whether it's flight or you're driving, whatever the case may be, that really tests. That, to me, is what tests your grit. That's what really everyone talks about obviously the falls and the strikes will eventually tear your body apart. But I think the travel is what mentally defeats a lot of people. And I just know that I've been made for this, so I look forward to those type of challenges. The challenge of wrestling.
That's going to be insane right there. Because again, you're also wrestling in the span of 48 hours there twice. And then you have that trip from Canada all the way to ECWA, which is already, that's insane right there. But again, that's showing what kind of, again, professional you are, how much respect you have, no pun intended, for the craft here. And again, what you're willing to do, again, how many miles you put in for this business. But here we go. We got Joe Team saying Mike Law for champ. There we go. Everyone's going to be on your
Hey, man, listen, I go in there, man, and the intention is to always just win and just make sure that at the end of the day, like, the idea for me is to make sure the fans, like, know that they got to witness me. You know what I mean? That's my whole mentality when it comes to this thing. And, as far as, and going back to July 1st, the match with Sebastian Cage was supposed to happen a while back. I think with him, what bothers me about him is that I feel there is a lack of respect for our industry and the craft. Because as good as he could be, I think he's kind of leveled himself out. And that, to me, is a lack of respect, because why not try to get better? Why not, you know what I mean? A guy who has the youth and has the capabilities that he has could get better, but he decides just to, waste it away. I also don't like that at the event for another company. I don't know, either never showed up. I don't know what the deal was, but it's like, dude, like if you're advertised for a fight, show up. You know what I mean? Like that's the professional thing to do. So for me, that's just he is talented. He can go. I'm not even questioning that. But I don't know if he has the heart or the passion that I have to do this, and that's why I know I'll be victorious July 1st. I don't doubt it, because when it's grind time and it's like we're going in, if it's 15, 20 minutes, we're in there. I know that I'll outlast them because I have more passion and I have more love like for what we do. And he's fine with just like, hey, I'll let my natural abilities get me to where I need to get to, because he has a lot of natural ability. I can't deny it. Like that would be stupid, because you look at some of the shit that he does, it's fucking impressive. Yeah. It's just that I wasn't born with that. I don't have the natural ability. I just made myself good.
All right, there you go. And again, it's a different commitment there. It's a different, just like you said, it's that grit factor that comes into it. So again, right. I guess he'll have to see, can he keep up with you on July 1st. But here we go. We got another veteran of the game right here, Ron Starr. What's up, Unc? As he's saying, what's up?
Oh shit, Ron Starr. What's up, Unc?
There you go.
Ron Starr's a good one, man. I've met Ron I guess in the mid 2000s when he was running his company out in Philly, and Teddy Fine got me hooked up with that, and yeah, man, we go way back. He's a good dude. I love Ron.
Definitely so. But now let's go from this, because again, the ECWA title is not the only championship in the next 2 months you're trying to win. As you're also going for this here, you're making your impact now with Onpoint, as you're facing off against, again, one of their best of the best right here. You're facing off against Matt Tremont. You've been on a wear and tear to try to become Onpoint champion. Your thoughts on this one?
This is like one of those matches I've always wanted. It's weird because people are like, oh, you look at like Matt Tremont, you look at me, and you're like, no, like why? You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm a very clean cut guy. You know what I mean? I think we have both obviously physical differences. But I respect Matt Tremont, you know what I mean? But I said it, like Onpoint and anywhere else, he's considered one of the toughest, dudes out there. And I'm at a point in my life where I go, you know what? I want to wrestle the tough. I know Chris Barrett just says I'm having a midlife crisis. But I don't think it's that, man. I think at some point in your life you say, fuck it, and I don't want to live this life on the safe side, anymore. Like I think that's a problem too. I think years I was on the safe side, what I mean? Like I never tempted fate, and I feel like this is what it is, and I really truly mean it. I said, when I posted it up initially, I said death came calling and I'm gonna answer, and whatever happens that night is gonna happen. I don't know, but I know that there's gonna be a lot of violence probably, and
hey, here we go. Joakim said it best. Deathmatch Mike returns.
Oh well, we'll see. That first one was pretty freaking gory. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But a number of respect for Matt, but like I don't see it. To me, it's not. When I go in there, the respect kind of gets thrown out a little bit, because I know what the reputation Matt Tremont has, right? I know everyone knows that he's a hardcore guy. He's a deathmatch legend. He's done it all. He's wrestled some of the best. And for me, I have to put that aside to be like, I want to show you that I can overall be one of the best. And in your environment, whether it's a hardcore or death, whatever the case may be, I need to show him I can be better.
Hey, there you go. And again, that's a matchup I'm looking forward to, because again, like you said, you're truly showcasing that you can go with no matter what the element is. And again, you're showing how great of a competitor you are, that you're getting out of your normal element here. You're stepping out of that comfort zone and showing, again, this is a leap of faith to see, hey, I can hang in there with guys like that and hang in there with whatever comes into that ring. So
absolutely.
There you go. But again, also, it's going to be, I believe, the same weekend as that matchup. You're going to be a part of the bash at the Bonanza here. July 9th, as you're going to be in tag action, as it will be you and Christina
Hell yeah.
Marie
Hell yeah.
against
Very excited
Ross
about this.
and Bradley. Christina Marie also, again, a little bit, I guess, I don't know if you want to say turncoat, a little bit of a best for business idea there, as she also joined Federated recently. So I don't know if you guys are going to be on the same page going into that tag matchup, but her thoughts going in there against Ross and Bradley.
It will always, for me, but I'm one of those guys. I mean, unless you saw a family member of mine, then it's personal. But I think I've always excelled at separating my personal belief from my business beliefs.
Okay.
And, to me, it's like, listen, if that's what's going to help her career, then I'm fine for it. Because I've always thought Christina Marie was very good. She just needs to challenge herself. She needs to, hey, are we in this or we're not? You know what I mean? And I think I'm happy. I'm loving that she's obviously getting those opportunities. If it's with Federated, hey, like, you know what, man, you got to do what you got to do. This business is brutal. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so weird when people are like, oh, like, it's business. At the end of the day, I guess that's the word I want to use because, people like, well, how could so and so do this? How could so and so wrestle for? No, like you don't realize how hard this shit is, And sometimes you have to balance, like, okay, my personal beliefs from my like business beliefs. And I'm not saying like obviously there's a line that you don't cross, but to me, I take it as that. I go, we're a team that day, and Ross and Bradley are two young, hungry guys. It won't be their night. I don't think athletically they can compete with us. I don't think stamina wise, I don't think cardio wise they can out wrestle us. They are bigger in a sense, like they're bigger guys. That's what I'll say. But I don't know. I think when you put this type of match together, you can just really never know what's going to happen. So I'm excited. I always had high thoughts about Christina Marie.
All right, there you go. And here we go. We got Federated saying she'll definitely have your back that night. So there you go. Again, I guess.
I didn't need you to tell me that. I'm quite aware that she would. We're teaming up that night. She's actually, she's getting paid to be my partner as well. So I would hope that she would fulfill her duty.
She'd also want to get the win as well. Like that helps. So,
well, it's a big factor. You know what I mean? Like, it's if we could only delve into that, but I think that definitely is a good enough reason alone to be a cohesive unit.
There you go. But also, that's not going to be the last, especially booking in July here, as confirmed so far, as you will be at Cosplay Championship Wrestling, part of Kineticon. Your thoughts on that, and what we'll be seeing? Are we going to see more of Colossus style Mike Law? Or are we going to be seeing a little bit of a certain boxer, if you will?
Right. So I think, and this might go back to what Chase was talking about. If that's what he was referring to, then he has to realize, like, in this industry, especially now, you have to like that Kineticon is badass. I love it. It's the coolest weekend. Would I consider it pro wrestling? Not to the extent of what these other matches and events are. No, it's not. To me, it is a different thing altogether. So I don't, if you're referring to that, then that's, you have to see what Kineticon and Cosplay, championship wrestling is. It's a completely different genre of what we do. I don't want to consider it necessarily pro wrestling. But with that being said, I love that weekend. You get to meet so many cool people. I consider it more of an appearance than a match. You know what I mean? You're not going to see Colossal Mike Law, unfortunately, but you will see Little Mack or Little Mike. I don't know. Little Mack, which again, if you in this industry, as an independent contractor, you have to make your money. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I just always think it's so weird when people are judgmental, not only because of the cosplay situation or that type of genre, but just in genre itself. Like, guys, we're all workers, and I hate using that term in a regular basis, but ultimately, like, we have to be able to provide for ourselves and for our families, whatever. So, To me, I love it. It's awesome. It's one of the coolest weekends. If you're in Connecticut, definitely check it out. You will not regret it. Love it. And look forward to it. It's always a great time. The fans there are just the coolest, the most fun. Video games, you name it. Like every freaking video game system, guys, that you can think of, it's there, and it's the best.
Oh, that's awesome. And again, it's one of those things, like, again, not to kill kayfabe, but again, whatever. It's one of those, like, a lot of, especially people in wrestling, are nerds. Let's be honest. We love, again, all that goes into a con like that. So why wouldn't you want to be a part of something where you get to mix, again, the element of wrestling and characters like that? Like,
no, you see, like that's the thing. Like I don't subscribe to the nerd or geek thing, to be quite honest. You know what I mean? Like I was a loner my entire life. You know what I mean? I just kept to myself. I kept a small circle of friends. I still do now. I don't have to. Like I don't want to have. I don't need it. You know what I mean? Like like it's a difference between having like close knit friends and family and all that jazz. But like to me, I grew up and I wouldn't consider myself like a dork or geek. You know what I mean? I love comic books. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I guess I like comic books because of storylines, which I think could be that business model could be applied to pro wrestling very often. And I don't play video games now. I haven't played video games in years, but I've always enjoyed them. And I'll pick up on a Super Smash Brothers video game all day. Street Fighter, like anything. Like I'm a big fighting games fan. So I love like whether it's Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or Tekken or Super Smash Brothers. That shit. I don't subscribe to like, you play video games, you're a geek or a dork. I just subscribe to the fact that I just enjoy that stuff. It's stuff that I would do, like as a hobby. Like I do other things aside from wrestling. So
definitely. No, the reason I bring it up like that is just saying when people try to make fun of it, and again,
exactly. Yeah, you make a good point.
Yeah. So it's like again, like I said, there's respect for the business and what we do, but it's that thing of getting to that point that's like, are we really gonna make fun of that when this is something that a consensus is a lot of us love and a lot of us entertain and enjoy that. Like
it's so played out. It's such a played out thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, listen, I get it. Like, I think some people kind of use it for some sort of like, I guess, marketing. I noticed that, and maybe I'm wrong, but I will say that, like, I don't know. It's like, it goes back to like when, like, I like to go work out. I like to go to the gym, and I just get like, I see people who were considered like, I don't know, were called dorks or nerds back when, like, rip apart people who want to work out and keep in shape, like the gym, like that gym culture. You know what I mean? Like I go, I don't know. I think that's a bullshit too, because it's like, is it you guys? It's like they're all getting back at each other because of, I don't know, previous life situations. Yeah. I've learned to live with, the fact that maybe I would never say I was bullied, because I was the guy who was trying to fight everybody, because I was like, I had kind of a Napoleon complex. But I would just say that, like, I just think it's funny because, it's the way that people describe guys who work out, or girls who work out. If they work out too hard and they're in the gym, they're like, oh, they're a juice head, or they're a tough, dumb, blah, like idiots. And I go, no, man, like some people are actually very intelligent, actually, and they know more about their bodies and probably more about your body than you know. So I don't subscribe to any of it, like you like it or you don't.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that's like people try to just, again, find some negative out of whatever the situation is, and they just like to put on that. They like to put that out there. And again, what really makes it worse is everyone wants to post about it. Everyone wants to comment and be the first to just spew out that kind of negativity toward anything.
Right, it's very simple. And again, I studied psychology when I was in college. That's probably a little bit of what this entails. But the insecurities and the fact that some people are just miserable with their lives, it speaks volumes. Like, I am very good at ignoring people and negativity. Believe me, it gets thrown at me not often. Again, because I just don't even. It does not faze me, and I'm just so like confident in myself and happy with my life that I don't feel the need to ever respond, because I don't care. Like, that is the true epitome of somebody that, like, if I don't need to respond to every single negative comment or bullshit that someone says about either myself, that like that's the way I choose to have like kind of this youthful look. But I also think it's very important for you mentally. I think people just succumb to it because it's so available for people to go on Twitter or go on Facebook and like so and so did this, or or so and so is this, and and it's like, hey man, whatever. If you don't like me, if you hate me, or you don't, that's good for you. I don't care, and I feel that I think it's just a mentality people need to have. I mean, I'm not saying everyone's gonna have it because obviously not everyone's made the same.
Definitely, and it's also it's very hard for everyone to, because again, sadly, a lot of people do live on the idea of wanting everyone to like them, wanting all this. But again, it's like you brought up earlier, having best situation. This is something I've learned as well, is just having, again, that nice support system, having those close friends, and again, having their opinions matter, and having that be what drives you to keep going and drives you to, again, be more positive with your lifestyle as well.
Right. And I'm telling you, it's the 100% truth. I got rid of so many negative people in my life throughout the years, and I'm telling you, it's like having like the positive support is so important, because the negative people are just going to want negative. They just want to drag you down. They want you to be at their level, which is fucking miserable. And I refuse to. I refuse to live this life miserable. I refuse to go on into my older years and just be bitter. No, man. I love my life. I'm so grateful I get up every day. Like, to me, whether it's I always say to myself, like, worst case scenario, I woke up this morning, and that's a win. And that sometimes is good enough.
Hey, there you go. And that's a great way to do it. And again, we've had these convos outside of this and just real life conversations. Right. And that's always.
I felt the need for us to redo it again.
Definitely. But here we go. We got Joe keeps saying, "How's their Napoleon complex when you're 6'9"? There you go. Reminding you your height there.
I'm closer to 7'1", but I'll forgive you for that, Joe.
He messed it up, man. He has to.
I would say when I was young. So before I had my growth spurt, I was definitely on the shorter end, but the last few years I had a growth spurt, and I'm up there now, so I'm happy. That's probably another reason why I'm so cheerful all the time.
There you go. Well, let's.
Some people also take themselves too seriously sometimes, and you got to learn how to laugh. You got to kind of learn how to like laugh at yourself. That's one thing I've learned.
Definitely. And again, that's what keeps a lot of positivity out there. But let's get back a little bit into the wrestling side of things, when we'll have to do a whole other podcast of just psychology here to help people through it. But let's also talk about, there was one big opportunity I want to talk to you about, which again, it was crazy because we had talked about this a few weeks prior to it happening, of hopefully the possibility of one day it happening. And let's talk about you getting a spot on AEW, and how was that for you, getting to do that whole experience, and how did it feel to do that for you?
Like any kind of milestone, like when I got to wrestle in Ring of Honor, on TV with my brother wrestling at the ECW arena, it's like you look at these things and you look at what led you there, where you've been, where you were, and where you plan on going, and it's always like a milestone. You know what I mean? Like, you always want the opportunity to showcase what you can do, and I think it'll happen, like on a I guess lengthier basis. But I'm just grateful, man. I'm always just grateful to be like, hey, I've been given whatever opportunity it may be to just continue to like find levels of success any way I can in this journey, and it hasn't been easy. Like, again, a lot of it was my fault. I always take responsibility stuff that I did or did not do. But I feel like since I came back to wrestling in 2015, after FWE went out of business, that I have been trying my hardest to just really show to everyone that like I should be a national TV guy or whatever. If you want to put me on international, I mean, I guess technically we all are, because all this stuff is broadcasted all over the world at this point. But just on a TV basis, on a weekly basis for a larger company, I think I've showcased that. But it was great. It was great seeing a lot of the people that I've come up with. You know what I mean? Like, just seeing guys like Johnny Silver, guys who've shared locker rooms with, Nyla Rose, some of the women as well, Nyla Rose, Sunny Kiss, Max Caster, it's so great to be in an environment that you get, you see people that you could talk to, that you came up and you could have stories with from all the other stuff that you've done previously. So yeah, it was great. It was great. I don't know. I just felt like very cool because it was a comfort level of seeing so many of these people that I've either done business with in the past or have, worked with in this, modern time.
Gotcha. No, definitely. And again, this is something when
the catering was excellent. Catering was great. The catering listen, WWE and AEW catering is.
I feel like that's always the go-to. It's always the question like, how's catering? That's always the first go-to for people. It's like, hey, the match went well too, but it's like, no. I was catering.
No. Listen, catering was on point, and for both companies, because I did SmackDown extra work in Mohegan Sun in January, and yeah, you know what I mean. Like this stuff is on point as well, man.
There you go. No, but definitely, it was a great sight to see for you getting those opportunities again. And I told you off air, and I'll continue to say. It definitely was a great moment to see you, and I was happy to get to see you doing that. And I told you that as well. I told you beforehand, like it was gonna happen. And again, it's something like even Vince said it here, one of the best going today. Like there you go. Vince Steele saying it there in the chat. There you go.
My former tag partner. We used to team at Ace Wrestling, and in Union City, we used to team. Okay, look at it. Now you can see the blushing that's going on here. You guys are way well. You're correct, but very nice about it. Me and Vinny Steele used to team back in the day, and Ace, like in 2000, I wouldn't say 2004, 2005. But the whole Colossal thing, to be quite honest, probably stemmed from that whole tag situation, But definitely appreciate it, man. Like I said, I took the long, hard road through this business, and I also try to teach a lot of our trainees stuff not to do that I have been kind of foolish enough through trial and error to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want any of the people who come to Battle Club to be like, he's just preaching. No, this is stuff that either I've seen happen or has happened to me. And I don't want that. I want these people, in 3 or 4 years to like just go out there and just kill it, if sooner, better, whatever, you know what I mean? But everyone has their journey, and sometimes it takes a little longer for some than it does others. Nothing wrong with it. It's what it is.
No, definitely so. And again, that's why I say, like, every time we talk, it's always gems and getting to learn from you. And again, even this conversation, thank you so much again for sharing this knowledge, not only with me, but always with the great students as well at the Fallout Shelter. So it's always a pleasure. There you go. And here we go. We got Vince still saying you have to love to do this. Definitely. This is a business. You definitely have to put that love in, because if not, yeah.
Yes, I couldn't have said it better myself. He's absolutely right.
There you go. And here we go. Chris Barton saying Mike is my second favorite tag team partner.
Oh. Well, listen, I will never. Yeah, I'm not going to cause any friction with him and Denaro. They are a great tag team, and obviously hope to see those guys, continue to do their thing, man. Two guys, again, young, hungry guys. There's so much potential between both those guys. They listen, they hit hard. That's all I can tell you. I've been in the ring with both those guys, and they're kind of a throwback in a way to that, more physical style. And it's a very physical business, and those guys can bring it, and I respect that. And just tons of potential. Both are young guys, just killers, man. They're killers in the ring, and I really hope to see them continue branch out and do their things all over. Book those guys. I'm not one of those guys that go on Twitter and oh, you should book so and so and Facebook. I actually go legitimately to the promoters and be like, hey, this person's really good. You could really use them. You know what I mean?
No.
I don't try to put I've never felt insecure enough about myself to be scared for my spot. I know what I do and how I do it and how I go about doing it. So I can be like, hey, this guy is someone you should really think about using. And, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know, I just find it kind of weird when people like, I find it weird when it's like other wrestlers doing that. Like, okay, dude, like if you really wanted me there, you could talk to the promoter, you know. That's the way it's always been. It's a networking thing. Again, something that I will be the first to tell you, Ray, I am terrible with it. I have been the worst. That's one of the things that I probably should have been taught better, was to network with people and not consider it more like ass kissing, because it's a difference. You know what I mean? It's networking's one thing, you know, and we all know like the other way it is, but I just was very terrible at networking. Always. I mean, I'm better at it now, but I was always, you know, I don't know. I just wasn't very good at it.
Hey, again, I guess we could finally say it's gotten better, because again, this is why. Look at this schedule, right? Like,
right, and I'll be quite honest with you. I don't think that's a busy schedule. I've had busier ones. I think I will attribute it also to the fact that, you know, I am at the Fall Shelter twice a week.
Yeah.
You know, training and coaching, which is I absolutely love, and I wouldn't take it for anything. Like, it really just gave me a new lease on life as far as like the business. You know, like I really love doing that. But I just think when people are like, oh, I think it's okay. Like I remember a few years back, it had to be before the pandemic. I wrestled Friday night. I had a show Saturday evening, and then I had to drive to another show. So it was Friday night. I forget what it may have been Tier 1. This is dating back a little bit. So like just a kind of an example would be Friday night, one show, and then Saturday night, start at one show, drive to the next show, and then Sunday I would wrestle. Oh, and then I remember I had Raw, SmackDown. No, okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm thinking as we go here, Ray. I'm calling it on the fly, Ray. So it was Friday night. I think it was for Frankie Flo. Saturday night, it had to be ECWA World 1, and then Wars of Wrestling, and then Sunday I had extra work. I had to be in Boston for Night of Champions for WWE, then Monday Night Raw in Rhode Island, and then Prudential Center on Tuesday for SmackDown. But that to me, I loved. I like, dude, I fucking that. This is like, that's me living the dream. I'm like, I love that shit. I love that schedule. Like, you know, like I got to work out before I went to to Boston. You know, and I was in Worcester. I was in Worcester like Sunday morning working out, and then I went to Boston to the Dunkin' Donuts Center, and then like I said, like, to me that's a busy schedule.
Yeah. That right there, that just sounds like an insane schedule. I love it, literally man. 4 days of just constant traveling. But again, that's showing that passion as well. And truly, again, no pun intended, but truly respect for the craft of it all.
There you go.
There you go. But here we go. We got Pete Rosado, someone that definitely has known you well. Love Mike Law in more ways than I can explain. So much to thank him for. There you go. Always shout out to Pete.
I'm hearing a little bit here.
And here we go, Joe Keefe. Here we go, plugging away Santy and Law versus Barton and De Niro coming soon to BCP.
Let's make it. No, seriously, man. Like, make it happen, man. Make it happen. I would love to throw down with those guys, man. I can't, not too sure about Santi, but I really like that physical style, man, and I would love the opportunity to fight those guys. No bullshit, just straight up like a hard hitting match. You know what I mean? Like, that's. And it goes back to the respect thing, you know what I mean? So I would love that. Actually makes me want to go and work out right now.
There you go. I know it's funny. Speaking of tag team wrestling, one of the first matches I feel like I saw you in legit was a tag match. It was you and one of my great friends, Anthony Gangone, when you guys took on Private Party. I think this was 2015, around there.
Oh my God! So that was at Laboom. That was at Club Laboom, and man, I remember that freaking Mark Quinn hitting a run on me, and as he goes and he gets his legs around my neck, and I flip. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I go, I'm not. This is a hard ass floor, and that killed me. Oh my God. I mean, obviously good for those guys. They've been doing their thing. Anthony Gangone is a guy that I just admire and respect. The guy's such a fucking genius when it comes to pro wrestling, man. He listen, all things aside, Amazing Red has done a great job. A lot of these guys, you know what I mean, and girls, you know, a lot of different versatile talent that have come through there. And you know, to me, a guy like Anthony Gangone is when he is motivated, man, he's dangerous. He could be so freaking dangerous, and he could be such a threat to anybody's spot in professional wrestling. I think a lot of guys can definitely recognize that. You know, going back to Pete Rosado real quick because I, you know, definitely appreciate his comments. Love what we're doing, what we are wrestling. You know, he's been, you know, he's given me yet another position as an agent, as someone to help put these shows together. I have been a booker in the past, you know, but you know, he's been, as far as being an agent, you know, he's definitely given me the ball with that, and I appreciate it. Again, I just love this industry so much that even after I'm done with wrestling, like the in-ring aspect, I definitely want to be able to do other aspects of what we do and contribute to the business, you know, because it's treated me very well. You know, I can't complain, man. I really can't. Like you know, I know a lot of guys get a certain way and feel a certain way because they didn't achieve whatever level of success they think they should have gotten. I don't, you know, but I think for me, I'm just so eternally grateful for all the memories, the friends I've made, the places I've traveled to. Like, you know what I mean? Like I never would have traveled to some of these places ever if I hadn't been in a pro wrestling industry. And, you know, the hats off to Pete for that. But Anthony Gangone, going back to that real quick, so insanely talented, man. Hope to have him come down to the Fallout Shelter and train with me one day, you know, like, because I know him and Smiley, I feel like, man, that dude, well, I mean, come on. Get that guy, like, give him a ball already. Goddamn. He's another guy that he's so crazy innovative. I like some of the shit. I go, why does this guy come up with this? Him and Jason Kincaid is another guy. Jason Kincaid, god damn.
Yeah, the stuff
damn
that,
you, Jason
those
Kincaid.
two can do. Yeah, Kincaid's another
Right.
one. Like, just seeing some of the holds he's come out with, I'm like, just where? Yeah.
Where does this guy come up with this shit? He's brilliant, man. And like, I know he's had spurts here in Ring of Honor and Evolve, but he's just another guy that, like, dude, how has no one picked that guy up? He's just so different and, you know, good. A great attitude, man. I don't get it. He's another guy, just amazing attitude. There's so many guys that I could just list that I go, why? Why aren't they, like, you know? And I love guys like Joe Kim because they want to give people like that the opportunity. Look, you know, all things aside, Mick Drake's a fucking great athlete, man, and he's really good, man. And he has the size, and he has the look, and you know, perplexing to me, you know, that a guy like that has been, you know.
Definitely.
O'Shea Edwards,
again, hopefully, that's one of those things I always say, and again, I even said it with you. That was, hopefully, time is everything. Maybe the opportunities will eventually make their way.
Absolutely. So, you got to be in it to win it, guys. Come on, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Guys, listen, I get this business can get very tough, but if you're in this business 5 years and you're already trying to, like, getting bitter and like, oh, I hate this, no, then this probably isn't for you. This is probably not going to be a long career route. You have to be in this thing for the long run. You know, and what I've learned is that you can build your brand, but you also have to think about longevity. And I think that's also another thing that people have to really separate. Like, you can do this for many years and walk away with all your capabilities intact. You know what I mean? If not, ask guys like The Miz, ask like Randy Orton, you know, like those guys, you know, different roads, but kind of the same thing. Like, you know, they've managed to still do this at a high level for many years. And I'm not just saying them, there's plenty of you know, guys and girls that, you know, fit that mold. I'm just saying, like, you know, Randy Orton's the guy that sticks out to me as somebody who's been doing this for 20 plus years and still looks great, still can go, you know?
Definitely so. And here we go. We got Pete Rosado saying, Mike Law putting everybody's talent over since 1945.
Oh, easy now. Easy. Come on now. I'm not that old. 1945.
Oh, geez.
That's a random one.
The humblest guy ever. There you go.
Listen, I remember. Not too low. Well, yes. Well, I don't know. We'll see about that one. But I will say this: like, sometimes the humbleness has kicked me in the ass because, you know, I don't know. It's just a different perspective. You know, like I just know that you can lose it all. I've seen it. I've seen people who been so insanely talented, an injury happens that just ends their career, you know? And I guess from life experience, I know that you could be up here, like up there, and then you could be down here. And pro wrestling is no different. It's the same thing. You could be at an all-time high in one moment, and the next moment it could be taken away from you. And then sometimes it's just so out of your hands. It might not even be something you did or didn't do. It's just something, a variable that you never had any chance to like avoid, and it happens. So that's why I keep humble, man. Like I'll work hard, and I know what my strengths are, and I know what my weaknesses are, but I always try to maintain some level of humbleness because, um, I just think I think life has a way of just being able to dictate that for you sometimes.
Definitely so. And that's something I feel like everyone hopefully they get to learn and start to see that, and that's what changes what routes they take. But again, it's all a learning experience when you go into this. But Mike,
Absolutely.
again, thank you so much for coming on. I don't want to take up too much more of your time here because we could go here for hours and we still wouldn't have enough. But thank you again for coming on. I want to make sure everyone continues to follow your journey here. Go follow Mike on his Twitter right there at Colossal Mike Law.
That's
Go
it.
follow him there on Instagram there, Colossal Mike Law. And again, go follow Battle Club as well. Again, Sunday will be show day. Go follow them, Battle Club Pro there on IG. Go follow them on Twitter at Battle Club Pro. The link in the description down below to all the socials, also to Mike's socials, also to
Oh,
Battle Club's ticket link so you can make it to Welcome to War this Sunday. And again, go check out Mike and his busy schedule, all these shows coming up. Go check him out. Be
I'm
there.
coming
See
to a
him earn
town near
some gold.
you.
There you go. And again, Mike, thank you so much for coming. But before I let you go, I almost forgot to ask the last question I ask everyone that comes on. And it
Oh
is
boy.
for you, for Mike Law. What is the end goal?
What is the end goal?
Yep.
Man, that changes. It's so funny. We had a drill on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday about this short-term and long-term goals. Man, I think for me at this point, uh, I would love an opportunity to just showcase myself on one of the bigger platforms. You know what I mean? Whether it's AEW, NXT, WWE. I just know in my heart that I can deliver something. And the passion that I have and what I've done for so many years. I want to build the best body of work I can. And that's why the matches with guys like Matt Tremont to me, like if you look at the matches coming up, stylistically, a lot of these guys are different. Sam Shields is definitely different from Sebastian Cage. Sebastian Cage is definitely different from Matt Tremont. Barton and Ross are definitely different from any other of the competitors here, and that's it. Like I just want to put together the best body of matches and work that I can at this point. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be foolish for me to not say, hey, you know, what could happen, against some of the best going out there in the world, and in one of those platforms. Um, and that's pretty much it.
There you go, Mike. Thank you again for everyone watching. Thank you as always. Don't forget this Sunday it will be Welcome to War. Go check out Mike's schedule. Go to a town near you and see him do some great things in that ring. As always, guys, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people. And as always, respect the craft. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.